Today on Steve's Makerspace, in Gamecraft, we've got a truck that transforms into a T-Rex, sort of, a wave machine, and a double domino effect, plus some other stuff. Hi everybody, Steve from Steve's Makerspace here, and today we are in Gamecraft. I've got kind of a random collection of things to show you today. Start off, here's my new background. I've got a green screen. Let me know what you think of this background. I could pick something else, of course. So this is what you guys were seeing in my previous videos. You see my closet back there. And here's the green screen, and now I'm going to switch over to the other camera. Here's another option for my background. And here's another option. Okay, that's enough about the green screen. Let's take a look at my first project, which is the attempt to transform a truck into a T-Rex. So this here is a build by Lebowitz the Great in Scrap Mechanic. This is what I was using as a model. And here's my build kind of early in the process. It was doing this to me quite a lot, which is kind of funny. So I could have attached this to the ground, but then I wouldn't have gotten a very accurate test of how it actually transforms. Eventually I had it to where it wasn't running away from me, still kind of jittery, and then it began to take shape. But up to this point it's been automatically transformed, and I needed a way to flip a switch to transform it. So what I hope to do is use single button memory and to use like shift or control on the vehicle from the pilot seat to turn it on and off. But I found that the set and the reset were being triggered kind of randomly by the seat, I guess, or just by the vehicle moving. So I tested it on another vehicle and I did find glitching, especially when I was going backwards. So then I tried the same thing with a set and reset button instead of one button, but I still found that the set and reset, which worked fine on still land, did not work properly on a vehicle, and seemed like, especially going backwards, it was a problem. So reluctantly I put a switch next to the pilot seat, and that switch pushes the seat back, which triggers all the other parts. So I think it works okay. Though I don't think it looks either like a truck or a T-Rex, frankly. And it was barely able to lift its own weight. So I decided I really couldn't continue building on it to make it look better, because if I add more weight, then it's just not going to be able to prop itself up. Here it is transforming back into a truck. The steering in this thing is pretty bad, unfortunately. I had to use minimal steering. I just didn't have enough room to make anything sophisticated. It's also sometimes a little glitchy at a standstill, which is a little scary. It's like it's alive. But I think that's enough of taking a look at this guy. You can see him struggling to stand up. So here is a wave machine. This is regular speed. I think I'm going to speed it up a little bit for the rest of this video. I really like making patterns in my scrap mechanic videos. I've made a lot of pattern makers, and I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So let me show you under the hood. This is from an early phase of the building. You can see a piston goes through some trigger areas. Those triggers start various motors spinning, and then the arm from that motor system is going through another trigger area, which triggers the pistons back there. Unfortunately, I had to add all of these switches in order to slow this motor down this much. You can see these other motors are at full speed. And here's the final setup with the trigger areas. All the motors and other trigger areas set up, and all those extra switches needed to slow down the motors. Would really love to have some motor control. Now this and everything I'm showing you today is going to be published on the workshop, of course. I suppose you could make some sort of game out of this. If somebody wanted to take this and make a game out of it, you're welcome to. I don't know what that game might be. Obviously, give me some credit if you do decide to make a game. Okay, enough about the wave machine, on to something else. So in a previous video I showed the giant dominoes. I've transferred that game over to Gamecraft and uploaded it on the workshop. I had to make a few adjustments to get it to work properly, but it works. Except that there is one disappointing bit right at the end. You remember I had giant balls that went flying through the air and the character could go flying through the air. So here I am at the end and I am not flying very far. So that's disappointing. But I've added this to the domino world. This is a double domino effect. So the dominoes fall and then they fall in the other direction. You can do this in real life with bricks. The bricks fall and lay on the lip of the brick in front, and then when the final brick falls all the way, then all of the bricks get released. That reverse domino effect happens very quickly. Here it is in slow motion. And here's the double dominoes again from a different angle. I've got them on free hinges to keep them from sliding around. I've also fixed up both my Kinetic art worlds and uploaded those to the workshop. There are a few builds that depend on stacked motors that are no longer working properly. And things like this don't work quite as awesome as I would like. The motors are just working differently and I can't get quite the same effect I had before. But mostly things are working okay. I've added some trigger area underneath the entire build so that if you fall off, you get transported back up. So that was Kinetic Art 1, this is Kinetic Art 2. And again, this pendulum-based sort of build just doesn't work quite as well as it used to. Pretty happy with the double butterfly. This untitled one is definitely not working like it used to. Double spiral's working okay. These two seem pretty nice still. These two on the end are messed up. The one over here just not working right. This one is, I don't know, it's different, but worth looking at, I guess. And we've got teleportation if you fall off. Okay, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you've liked what you've seen, please give me a like, consider subscribing to my channel. Give me some comments. I'd love to hear what you think. I always love reading your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Steve's Makerspace.